Chase, if I were you, I'd cover. I like maybe turn your ear.
Oh boy.
Welcome, everyone, to the One More Thing Tech podcast. As always, I'm your host Kwesi,
I'm Adam.
and today we have a very special guest. You guys know him. You guys love him. He's been here before. You know, we've received great positive reviews, so we brought him back for part 2. Everybody, please welcome Chase.
Thank you. It's great to be back. I'm excited. We got some great topics today. Let's hit it, boys.
We do.
Some great topics. So, without further ado, I guess let's hop right in.
Okay, let's do this.
So, I guess I'll start it off, gentlemen. I know last week we talked about the Apple Thneed that came out, the iPhone Pocket, and the craziest thing happened, Adam. I was scrolling my phone, and I received a notification from Adam. 4 colors are sold out. 4 colors are sold out. Who is purchasing this iPhone Pocket? And then it dawned on me, you know. Yes, it's selling fast, but there was a very, very limited amount of these pockets made. So my humble opinion, right? My humble professional opinion is that they couldn't have made more than 6 of each color, right? Because that's the only way that they're selling out this piece of cloth. Now, last week in our TikTok, right, somebody was like, yeah, it's not really aimed at you. It's aimed at a woman who would need a bag, and the bag is going to be $120 for a good bag. Well, the bag is going to hold more things than just your iPhone. You know what I mean? I couldn't wrap my head around the concept that this. Hold on, let me re-show you guys what I'm talking about in case you guys missed last week's episode.
I learned something too about the Pocket from Apple that I did not know. So the short version has far more colors than the long version. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that there was a short version versus a long version.
What's the price difference, basically? Chase, we haven't heard your official response with this iPhone Pocket. Are you one of those who ordered it and that's why it's sold out, or are you just not going to get one at all?
All I have to say about the iPhone Pocket or any accessory like this is get a bigger pocket. Like, why do I need something to carry my phone around? Like, at this point, phones are getting too big or we're getting too crazy. And I think it's the second one. It's like, I don't need something to carry this over my shoulder. No, I did not buy the iPhone Pocket. But that's because my iPhone fits in my existing pocket that I own. They came installed with my pants. I don't know if people know.
That's
about
what I
these.
said last week.
I buy pants. Now, I know this. Hear me out. There's going to be some ladies that are like, hey, not all of our pants have pockets. And sometimes we're out here trying to look nice and we don't. But this doesn't look nice. Somebody
No.
like anybody, can I just say anybody who is like, yeah, I regularly don't have pockets has found another way to carry their stuff. We got shoulder bags, we got sling bags, we have purses for those of us who need to wear those, right? Like, it's not a big deal. I can put my phone in something else. But I don't understand the point of having it in a sweater that I hang over myself.
Also seems to me like if one is wearing this device, it would be super simple for any thief that has a hand to just pull it out of there. There's nothing secure in this besides the like turtleneck hug that it has, basically. That's all it has. Nothing else. Like, I don't understand. Like,
is there a style in like the fashion industry that I'm missing out on? This is my questions. Like, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, is there like, am I from the wrong part of the United States that I just don't get it? Like, are they out there in California going, you know what we need more of? Sling bags for individual accessories. Are they out there wearing 4 or 5 bags at once? Just saying.
There's somebody using this for the battery pack for the Vision Pro. It's another use case for
money.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, you could. There's so many different things you can get.
Well,
But I
waste
guess
of
if you
money,
bought a
but
Vision
like
Pro,
better use case maybe than the iPhone.
perhaps.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
At least
Right?
it's
We already
attached to the
talked about the
cord.
battery life of the thing. It's attached to the cord. You got to have something to hold it.
But you can just get like one of those. You know how back in the day you used to have the phone case that clipped to your belt loop that was like $6.
Stop.
You can put the battery in there for.
Nope,
your
you're
Vision
losing
Pro.
people. People are tuning out right now. They're like, the
Okay,
battery clip.
Nobody's bought a Vision Pro that listens to us, to my knowledge. I could be wrong. 90% of our listeners could be Vision Pro users, and they could think that's the dumbest idea I've ever had. But like,
Can you
I
buy
just-
a belt clip for the battery? This is a thing.
that's exactly what I was planning on doing if I ever purchased Vision Pro.
Which
And
you
I'm
did the
planning
actual.
on purchasing
I-
a Vision Pro.
I want one too. As of right now, on Apple's website, the article that we pulled up from 9 to 5 says that they were almost out. As of right now, this morning,
Almost. Well,
it's
I better
out
stop bashing it. I'll
completely.
go get it right now.
They are just out of stock. So that means you're going to see these probably on eBay shortly for far more expensive than what you see on Apple's site because people can't get enough of this. And I'm with Kwesi. As much as I hate bashing products from Apple, I do not see a point in this, even the slightest. And I don't think they made a lot because they probably don't think they're going to make a lot of these and sell a lot, but they did. I mean, it's just like the strap. I just don't understand it. So in any case, it's sold out. Once again, if you did purchase this, I'm not trying to bash you. Please send us a photo of which one you got, the short or long of the color, in Discord or TikTok or YouTube, so we can see if this is just like a scam from Apple or if someone actually got them and they like them.
There's some hobbyist somewhere that's so thrilled because they're gonna start like crocheting these things and selling them for $10 and making a killing.
I wonder if anybody bought these for the dog.
If I could, I searched iPhone Pocket on Google, and then I went to the shopping tab, and let me show you how everything is just a better option. Right, we have this Waterfield Designs Essential iPhone pouch for $79. Right, we have this Ozark Trail phone holder and storage bag for $17. This is what I'm really talking about. This fuel belt, the View iPhone Pocket, you need one of these. That's a better use of your money. Right, so I'm just saying, and it doesn't even look like these iPhone Pockets are going on the resale market. So maybe
Bet you on eBay they're going to be there. Guarantee it.
don't mind me now. I'm going off on a thing here. You guys can go to the next topic.
We've lost him
Okay.
for real.
I
Next thing we know, he's gonna have 4 different ways to carry his iPhone ordered, ready.
I'm gonna find something so cool that I just need it.
He refuses to put it in his pants pocket anymore. That's so 2024.
Which state do you think this is going to be the most popular in? The Pocket. I
Which
think Chase
state?
already mentioned it. Yeah.
I don't know about California. California just has a lot of people, so I don't know if it's like a density thing. But I think it'd be most popular nowhere. In terms of, it's got to be one per 100,000 people. You know,
All I know is
think-
it's farther out west than any of us are.
most
Like,
definitely.
Like there's
This
a
is definitely not
combination. There's a
thing here.
combination of like you got to get to a place that your attire isn't fully about function, right? Like they're not. And what I mean is like because my pants are about style and not function. Now I need the iPhone Pocket. Or I'm somewhere warm and I'm just not wearing as much clothes as the rest of us. Like I walk into work and I have 25 pockets built into what I'm doing because it's cold and it's winter. I don't need a sling over top of all that.
I
But
think,
maybe where it's 75 and sunny.
or New York City. I mean,
people in New York City are dumb enough for that.
see, here's the thing. There's tourists in New York City, and there are people in the subway systems that you really question every single day.
Who are you telling? you
So-
go into the New York subway.
So let's
and
just...
you're either like just in awe of what you're seeing, or you're scared for your life, and there's no in between. So
Yeah, I've been there exactly one time, and I can't even mention on this podcast what I've seen. It was that disturbing. And
Was it in the subway system or was it in Times
Yes.
Square?
both. There's two different spots, but
I know there's this guy in Times Square that just kind of
Yeah.
stands.
yeah,
You know,
that's
he's,
one of
he's,
them.
indecently exposed, but he doesn't get in trouble for it.
Yes,
I
they
don't-
found that out the hard way. I went up to one of the horse cops and said, "Hey, this guy's like probably drunk and like doing stuff he shouldn't be doing." Oh, he just does it. He's okay to do that. I'm like, okay, but the subway was a far worse experience. Let me tell you, if that wasn't enough scarring, the subway system had. I'll tell you guys after the podcast. There's just no way I can mention the
It'll do it to
podcast. It was awful. It was. I was younger than I should have been seeing that. Let's just say that. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, Chase. We have another topic that I think you'll be interested in.
Hit me.
Well, it's your topic.
It's mine. I thought this one was yours.
Sorry.
Look at me. I'm
It's a-
so professional. Guys,
Wonderful.
It's okay.
guys, hear me out. Apple's in trouble again.
Yes.
Apple is out here fighting another lawsuit for things that who the heck knows why they get themselves in all this trouble. Now, it's all about this concept here, quote unquote, the patient monitor, right? Any device that has to be on 24/7 is monitoring a human being 24/7. They are under severe scrutiny for, which honestly, I thought we were done, right? I thought Apple had figured it out. But I'm reading the article, right? And it sure sounds like a medical device that someone has a patent on, right? Like it sure sounds, and they're like, hey, and Apple's features are like making it obvious that they're using this kind of technology, right? So you're getting notifications because your heart rate got too high. Well, how do they do that? They're monitoring the patient in which the heart rate monitor is on. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? So here's actually my question for y'all. Do we actually think Apple is stealing this stuff, or do we think people are independently just like creating their own technology? And it just happens to be that good technology is the same technology.
I have an interesting take on it. So I used to just think that Apple themselves blatantly stole this concept. But do a little more digging, I think what might have happened is something a little bit different. I think mostly what happened here is certain individuals took this concept from Massimo and used it for their Apple Watch, but not everybody knew that they were doing this. It was kind of under the radar. They want to take credit for a great product, a great feature, and this is what they did. So my guess is I can't believe Craig Federighi and people in the Apple Watch team signed off on just blatantly stealing somebody else's technology. I just don't believe that. And if they did, that would shock me to no end. I think certain individuals took credit for something that they did not do. I think they poached some people from Massimo, and I think that this is their output of that. And what gets me is, but here's the worst part about it. When Apple did know about this, the executive team did know, their response is not what I thought it was going to be, which makes it more questionable. Maybe they did know that this whole time. But what gets me is this. They have the most amount of money that you can imagine in a company. I cannot imagine that they couldn't get their own team in place to do this very product without stealing anything. And why is this even a discussion that this was even a thing at all? It's just something that I would not expect Apple or its employees to do whatsoever. And that's what gets me hurt the most. It's a product that, do you not think that Massimo and people in this company are going to know about this? Is my question. When it's blatantly a copy of their patent. I mean, it's not even like, oh, we kind of took some concepts from this little area. It's exactly what they say it is. And that's concerning. I don't really know at this point if it was some exec saying do this, or if it's just certain employees, but I have to hope it's certain employees doing it outside of their knowledge. What do you think, Kwesi?
I think the thing is that there's a lot of legal gray area. So the patent from Massimo was something that is always monitoring, and Apple's claiming that they're not always monitoring, right? And I think that there's sure, a lot of the technology is the same, but also we see a lot of the technology being the same in almost everything nowadays. Like Samsung's technology is pretty similar to. Let me think about how I'm gonna approach what I'm about to say. Samsung's technology in terms of like screens and stuff is pretty similar to that of other great companies like LG or why did I start with LG? You guys get the point I'm trying to make, right? So it's not really, let's not look into the details. Let's just look at the broader point. So I'm saying that in technology, when you have a great idea, it's very likely that you're not the only one with that idea. And also, I think that if I'm a company, right, and Apple does something even remotely close to my concept, I'm going to sue them anyway, right? It doesn't matter if I win or lose, because first and foremost, now people are going to hear that I'm suing Apple. I didn't know who Massimo was before I read this article.
Same.
So now people know my name, and let's say I do win, it's a double whammy because now I'm getting paid by Apple for something that they probably didn't know was wrong,
And they did sue Apple for 25 patent infringements, and most of them were thrown out. So I want to know what the rest of these things are. Is it for more things about the Apple Watch or other products that we don't even know about? I'm sure it's not going to be, unless you read the court case information, we're not going to be able to see that. But it's a little scary. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to be an Apple sheep here and say Apple's without flaw. What I'm saying is, if they did, they should fess up to it and not try to just hide this. But at the same time, this should give them an opportunity to do a better thing in the future and just very much lock this stuff down. Because they have issues with leaks all the time. They have issues with people broadcast things before they're supposed to. But if you're using some else's technology, this is where it's going to be even worse. Because now it's just going to cause more bad PR that they don't want. No doubt about it. But I don't know. I'm only on the fence that some employees did this without Apple's exec's knowledge. I just cannot imagine Apple doing this, because Apple has not done this before in the past, to my understanding. If they have, please let me know. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Chase? Do you think that this is intentional from Apple, accident, or what?
Here's the deal. I don't know that if it's not intentional, it's just negligence. And here's what I mean. We talked about how much money Apple has, right? And that they could come up with their own technology. They also could just have enough patent lawyers and guys who are like, guys, we are too close. Even if they would have, like, let's say that in the lab they fully come up with this on their own. Why do they not have guys that are finding out if they have this? And then second, Apple, you're made of money. Like, maybe swallow your pride. Can you just buy Massimo's technology?
Yeah,
like,
that's my
just
thought.
pay them to. I don't even care if you pay the company. Just like pay them to use their stuff. Like, go in the front end of it and say, hey, like, go to the company and say, we are unable to develop something that won't probably infringe on your patent law. Is there a way we can pay you for the rights to use it? Even if Apple is completely above board, let's say let's put them in full innocence, which I don't believe that any major company like that is ever in full innocence. I'll just say that, right? Like, there's probably something slightly shady, whether it's an employee that's like, I found this technology and didn't tell anybody, right? Something's going on. And so it's like, okay, so this technology is much like somebody else's. How do we go out and we just do the right thing on the front end? I have to imagine it would be cheaper than this.
Yeah, $634 million.
Right. And two, who cares? Like, no one's going to be like, man, Apple couldn't have come up with that themselves. It's like, just figure out how to move forward and not, and now, I'll give everybody a little bit of credit. Patent law is a little complicated. Like, this patent expired in 2022, right? But clearly Apple's been doing this for longer than 2022. Therefore, that's why the lawsuit goes through, right? And I know maybe there was one of them that's like, hey, I know, like let's just not release it until after 2022. But that's not how this works, right? Like, there's laws against that. I just want to know, like, why are we not, like, Apple? You didn't solely invent every piece of your technology. You've bought stuff from people before. Go buy the stuff you need to use to make your products great. Like no one's gonna be upset.
That very point might make sense why they didn't do that, because if this wasn't a sanctioned push from executives to do so, this would be why they didn't buy it, right? Because some employees not going to use their own money to buy this to say it's theirs. That's one thing. But the other thing, too, is it's the response from the executive team in Apple of, okay, this is what happened with their own company. How do we deal with this as a company? This is where I think as a whole we can all agree that it wasn't done correctly. I mean, at some point when Massimo was reaching out to Apple lawyers and stuff, Tim Cook and the exec team are going to know about this. And I don't see the best response that I can imagine from Apple. Like you said, they could have bought the company, they could have bought rights to this, because Apple's not at this point above doing that. When you think of like AI, they have failed at the AI market. So they're using Google and various other companies to back that up, make it better. So it's okay if you can't develop something, but don't just steal it if that's what happened. That's what I think the bigger point of this entire thing is. Like Chase said, it's going to be way cheaper to buy the technology to use it than spend $634 million, which is still chump change at Apple. But it's a big dent. I mean, that is a big amount of money for any company, right? Especially if you have to spend that money where you don't really get what you want back. You're just getting a lawsuit payout, basically, right? So, anyway, not to go on too much with this topic, but I wonder what people think in the comments below. Do you think this is something that Apple did on purpose? Was it an employee? Was it accidental? It was so close to someone else's patent? Or do you think this is just a big Massimo versus Apple, and I hate Apple, I must sue? Like, what do you think? I'm not trying to say anybody's wrong. I just want to know what you guys think. Okay? Speaking of some controversy, I don't know if you guys heard about this game called Black Ops 7 from Call of Duty.
Never heard of it.
What a disaster. Before even the concept of this game came out, I think there's a big thing with Call of Duty where it's like a battle between them and Battlefield every single year. For sure, without any hesitation, Battlefield 6 has blown them out of the water. And not because it's just core gameplay. Over the years, Call of Duty is making a decline in their games because of they focus on multiplayer, they focus on different things. Campaign's not really the biggest objective. But this Call of Duty has one terrible, terrible concept, in my opinion. There is online multiplayer that is campaign, so co-op campaign, but it's live. So it's like playing a live match in Call of Duty, but you're playing campaign. You cannot pause it. And that's not the worst part. There's so much AI in this game that they use to make the game where you can obviously see that it's generated by not a human. And you can't pause the campaign, and you have to play with friends. You can't play it by yourself. And there is an absolute outlash with this. I mean, it's now rated the worst Call of Duty ever created by various different fans. And I'm not liking it. I've yet to play. I do have it on my Xbox. I have Game Pass. But this is a big disappointment in the gaming industry as a whole. And it's so sad to see this happen in Call of Duty because this was the game that I loved. Back in the day, I played Call of Duty because it was a great game. The campaign was so nice. It kind of brought you back into, here's World War II or whatever war it was they were talking about. And you got to see some, actual events that might have happened, and they put their own sway to it. It was really nice. And now it's turned into this, I don't know. It's just, it's a mess. And I'm not sure if the directive is just different or they're just trying to think of things to make things better. I don't know, but they're not doing well. What do you guys think?
I personally don't play Call of Duty, so I don't think I have a valid opinion here, aside from the fact that if you're playing a single-player campaign, there is no reason in the entire world that you should not be able to pause your game.
But it's not that.
I've seen it. Is it not a single-player campaign?
Nope. You have to play with people. And it's not... You can play with the team that you pick, of course, but if you're by yourself, you are going to be put into a team, or they're going to join you up to, 4 players. So you cannot play by yourself if you want to.
Oh, well, I think that's a bigger issue in and of itself.
Yeah.
I've been really big on single player games as of recent. I guess I've played a couple games that aren't single player recently, but like for the most part, I've been doing a lot of single player games, and those are fun. They're like relaxing. I can pause it whenever, right? Sure, some of them are a little bit challenging, right? Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I failed a couple of boss fights in the last 8 hours, right? But the fact of the matter is, when I was tired, I was able to pause it, go to sleep, wake up, come right back to the boss fight, and beat Dr. Octopus. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just a big advocate for being able to pause your game and not be forced to play with other people. And I just think that I remember back in the day, even though I didn't play it, I know Call of Duty had single player campaigns, and I'm just kind of sad that they got rid of that.
At least in this game. I bet you it's going to come back after this backlash.
All right, here's the deal. Who's playing Call of Duty because it competes in the high quality nature of a single player campaign anymore? The reality is, Kwesi did not say I was playing a first person shooter campaign when I paused it. No, he's playing Spider-Man, guys. Like,
true.
people who want to play great single player story campaigns are not playing Call of Duty. I'm sorry. Like, Call of Duty has built its foundation on multiplayer, right? Now, am I one of those who would say, go back and play the Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3 trilogy in the single player campaign? The story will make you cry. Maybe I would be one of those people, right? Like, they did a great job. Do I think that every Call of Duty campaign equates that? No. And here's the deal. I don't actually disagree with Call of Duty's move on this. I understand it as a concept. They've made a lot of games, and there is a lot of things that, like, I don't know what the Call of Duty before this was. Like, you know how long it's been since I've bought a Call of Duty? There's so many of them. Like, I can't buy a $140 a year subscription because they want to drop 2 games a year, right? Like, that's essentially what that is anymore. And so I look at this game and I go, you know what? With the rise of games like Destiny, I kind of get it. Right? Like, I get what they're trying to do. And I think this is a situation where people have blown up before they've played the game because the concept sounds dumb. It sounds like a stupid business move. But for all I know, they did a great job with this, and people are going to simmer down. Now, Call of Duty, if the campaign sucks and you can't pause and it's not relaxing and people aren't finishing it, like, okay, we need to reevaluate. But I kind of get it in this whole, like, we're making games where it's this massively multiplayer online experience where the campaign looks a lot like missions that you go on with your buddies, and it's all online and the world never stops. I see what they're trying to do. Potentially very poorly executed, and maybe they shouldn't have fully gone away from the whole single player thing. But I don't know. I'm a fan of co-op stuff. Like, I'll just say that. And now, so I don't know that this is the right move. I don't know if it's the right move, but I can see why they would try this with the current landscape of video games. And come on, what's the last Call of Duty campaign you played through?
I played through all of them.
I haven't played through any.
Which is the last one that you're like, that was a fantastic campaign? The last one?
No. Their campaign's not fantastic, and the reason why is because they don't even try. It's almost like executives are saying, well, we still have to probably put this in here. Let's just do something. Throw some paint at the wall, see what sticks. But their absolute 100% focus is multiplayer.
Any
There's
chance
just no
they
doubt
just
about
gave... Any chance this was actually a different move than we're seeing from behind the scenes, where they went, hey, the campaign team has sucked. We're just going to give campaign to the multiplayer team, and this is what they came up with?
I just think they
I don't know that's how it works. But
took a gamble on something, and it didn't work out for them. I mean, am I
we
saying
don't know that yet. We don't
this
know that yet, right?
Yeah,
yes. Like, the game has not been out long enough to, like, for people to know.
Yeah, I feel like maybe in like a couple months people are
But see, here's the thing.
Like, it's been out for days.
Campaign with Call of Duty, people that are going to play in the first week. which we're at that point right now. And it's not even that people aren't complaining that you can't just pause it. That's just one complaint, right? That there is. It's that the campaign is so vastly just weird. It's like, I mean, I hate saying this word, but they're really doing this thing where it's like they're focusing on really strange concepts. Like you have to be on LSD to even get this entire thing in your head to make sense. That's the issue. Like, you're talking about a flower kind of creature that consumes Michael Rourke, and he's turning into this big, like, very tall, humanoid, like, robot, plant-verse kind of character, and you're fighting him. What in the hell is going on with this? Like, how much drugs are these people writing these campaigns have to be on to make this? That's the biggest part about it. Like, I have not seen or heard a single YouTuber or person on Reddit or anything saying the campaign is great. Not one. As a whole, the gaming community doesn't always agree on everything. And this is a time that everybody's agreeing on that. If it's that bad where the entire fan base and everybody with Call of Duty is saying this is terrible, that's what they're trying to say. It's not even written well. Now, the multiplayer I've heard is pretty good. Right, that's still as it usually is because they had to make that their biggest bang for their buck. But the campaign is such a disaster. But they're trying something. That's the thing. They're trying to see that this makes sense. Now they're close. The co-op campaign, people love that idea. Bring that back, but don't make it always a live thing. Maybe you can do a co-op campaign with couch co-op. Also, things like this, right? The same console. Like you could have done this a better way, but they didn't focus on that. I think they had this is my thought. They made the game. They didn't have an idea about the campaign quite yet, but the multiplayer was still on track, ready to go, right? And they had 2.5 months to write the campaign and finish and get it ready because they just kind of forgot about it, which they usually do. So they used a bunch of AI and a bunch of strange concepts and threw it all together to see if it just worked. They tested it. It worked okay. They threw it out. That's probably what happened here. But let me talk about something about Call of Duty that I think is a bigger issue that we have not talked about and no one really talks about. There's one person at Activision Call of Duty that doesn't make any sense at all in their entire job, and that is the naming of Call of Duty. Why is there 7 or 8 Modern Warfare 1s, Modern Warfare 2s, or Black Ops? See, even Black Ops does like a number after it. That makes sense. But do not make 22.5 Modern Warfare 2s. That's getting ridiculous. So if I say I play Modern Warfare 2 to someone 10 years from now, they're going to say which one? There's 12.
And I guarantee they're not talking about the best one.
No.
What's the best?
So
The first
one. First one. See, we without even hesitation.
Come on, Modern Warfare. No, and sorry, and I'll just tell everybody right now, Modern Warfare 2, the first time they did that, might be, it's a hard to beat Call of Duty all the way around. Am I here to tell you it's the best? I can't do that because I haven't played them all. But it is really, especially if you're letting campaign hold its weight, right? Like, it's really hard to beat. Okay, now, I want to make one more point about this campaign. All right? I want to make one comparison to cut Activision just 2% of slack, right? Story making and story writing is really hard, and they've made a lot of games. And I'm going to draw one comparison. Right now, there is a movie franchise that is struggling in the same way, right? If anyone has seen this era of Marvel films, we would say they are not what they used to be, right? Like, we can probably agree they have had some fumbles. Now, is everyone bad? No. They've had some good ones. I enjoyed Fantastic Four, right? Like, I did. I enjoyed some of their newer movies, right? Like, I enjoyed Thunderbolts. These are good. Did I enjoy the Marvels? Heck no. Not good. And here's the deal. Marvel, you have comic books to pull from. Someone's helping you write stories. Literally. Someone already helped. No one's helping Call of Duty. They're starting from scratch. So for them to fumble now and again, I'm kind of like, you do you. I can't totally bash you. Very good point, Chase. I can't totally bash you for a bad story. I can bash you for a bad concept. But I think right now what probably happened is they have a bad story that they paired with a risky concept. And because of that, the concept is getting just destroyed online by people. Do I think that's fair? No, because I think there's other people like Destiny doing similar things to this that works.
And here's the thing. That's a great point, Chase. And I want to bring that up too. How much different can you make a storyline for a war game different every time? I mean, if you look at it, even Battlefield, right? It's the whole concept of what they do with their campaign. Now, I played the Battlefield 6 campaign. And I was probably some people haven't even done yet because they do multiplayer, which is still great in the game. But like, they at least took a campaign that was a little different than the standard war campaign and made it exceptional. I mean, it was really good, and they brought in some modern technology with it and everything else, right? But what I'll say is, I know that Activision has hired movie studio writers to bring in these concepts in Call of Duty. And maybe they're just at the point they can't think of something new. But maybe, is their issue this? That they have to make a new Call of Duty every year? Is that the issue? Is it because they just don't have enough time to write a really good story? Because here's the thing. It's not like a movie where they write a story, they get some people, they kind of make it. You know, game development as a whole is not a fast process. So is it that, let's say in a year's span, that they have, let's say, a month or two of that year to actually write a good story or write anything, and then they have the rest of the year to actually develop it and make it? Because it's not just about the game creation. You're talking about the music. You're talking about everything as a whole that has to be combined. So that might be a good reason this is just not what it should be, because they just hadn't had no time. You know, or these people are rushed, and that could be it too. Once again, I brought this up with the iPhone. Is it something that we should get, you know, not yearly, but every other year? Like, that might be, is that worth that? They say, guess what? We take a step back. Let's wait a year and make something every 2-year release. Because does somebody have to have a brand new Call of Duty and Battlefield every year? No. I don't think anybody's complaining that they don't have one every year. Is it that they could keep playing their other game for the rest of that 2-year cycle and just see what they come out with in 2 years? Maybe that's the entire problem with this. It's just time. And they just had a bad time gap to write something good.
Also, we can talk about quantity of games a little bit too. Like, we compare to Battlefield, Call of Duty's like out in front of them in number of games made, right? So it's like,
yes,
like you just said Battlefield 6. Now, they are not numbering in order. They're not only 6 games, right? Like, that's not how it works. But like, we're at Black Ops 7. Like, Call of Duty is well into the 20s in games they've made.
Yeah.
Right? Battlefield hasn't hit 20 yet. I'm not quite sure they've hit 15 because, I mean, I was just trying to look up lists, and it's hard to navigate it a little bit because there's like some smaller versions of games. Like are you just counting mainline games, or are you count whatever, right? But it's like, man, like, you can't compare Call of Duty. Like, they can't hit a home run every time. Halo didn't hit a home run every time, and Halo made like 7 games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So, but again, if you're one of the biggest names in video game franchises, which is Call of Duty, and at some point, like, you're big and you're not allowed to fumble like this. So
yeah. Now, I have to imagine that their feedback from this game is going to make the next game even better. I have to hope. Okay, let's go to the next topic, because Call of Duty has gotten too much for a time, and we're not even a sponsor. So, let's talk about something that's great. Kwesi. Oh, you're muted, Kwesi. Still muted.
That's really embarrassing. I was saying, while on the topic, I don't even know how it got muted. Like, that is really embarrassing. Anyhow, while we're on the topic of games, recently Valve came out with some new Steam consoles, I should say. There's a new Steam, the big one obviously is the new Steam machine, right? And ladies and gentlemen, this might be the console that just wins the console war.
And Kwesi is going to show this for the audience too, because it doesn't look like much. It really doesn't. But let me tell you, Kwesi is on the right track with this. And Chase, yeah, this is just gonna be a great topic. I love this.
It's just this little box right here, right? Doesn't look too big. I think it's about 6 inches. Oh, yeah, it actually is 6 inches. It says right here. And, that's not horribly large, right? There's a new VR headset, right? And when you put the two together, ladies and gentlemen, the gaming experience that you might have could be legendary. If this is executed properly, this is the end of consoles as we know them. Because
keep in
you have to
mind,
understand. Go ahead.
keep in mind, the VR headset they also released is also independent, so it can pair with this, but you don't have to pair with this if you don't want to. That's also just a great thing. I love that a lot.
You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I have a PS5 right now is because I wanted to play Spider-Man. But if this had come out 3 days before I got a PS5, there's no reason I wouldn't have purchased this. You know? Hold on, let me go find the price for you guys so I can give an actual great review. Is it in this article?
Well, no, you're not going to find one because Valve has not announced it yet. They're really good just keeping that under wraps until they're ready. And I want those so badly too.
Unfortunately, we don't know a price yet. But as long as it's under 800, let me tell you something. If they can undercut PS5 and Xbox's prices right now, then there's literally no reason that anyone should purchase anything else. If they sell this console at a loss because they know they're going to make up that price difference in games, then in my mind, I can see nothing, and I mean nothing, ever beating this out. Ever.
There is one issue with this device and everything in here. Only one issue, and it's not even their fault. It's that some disgusting developers have this thing called anti-cheat. Am I saying that this concept is bad? Not at all. What I'm saying is, like EA, for instance, sports games and various other platforms that make games, do this thing called make anti-cheats that you cannot run on Linux. And there is anti-cheats that you can run on Linux because games do that. Marvel Rivals, for instance, you can do this. So when you have just people and game developers that just blatantly refuse to let you run games on Linux and various other, that hurts me to the core, and I can't stand that. And in fact, if I was president of the United States, I would mandate game companies to abolish that stupid rule and make them make their games for every single platform out there, because it makes me so mad. Because devices like the Steam Deck, that's phenomenal in a lot of ways, can't play games like Call of Duty. You can't play something like, you can play Madden if you want to. You can't play Destiny and all this other stuff that are great games. Am I saying that, just buy an Xbox or a PC to do this? No, I'm saying is, if people have a Steam Deck and that's what they have for a console, right? That's their only console. Why would you limit them from being able to play your game that if they want to? That's the issue I have. So I know I'm going off a little tangent here, but that's the only downside I would say with this. Now, there's a lot more games, a lot more developers that are not doing this, right? They let you play on this. So it's not going to be an issue for most things, but you can't play everything in your Steam library with this. That's the downside with this. Now, I hope Valve's working with game developers to stop this nonsense so we can get to a better place. But until that happens, that's going to be a limitation of this hardware, is that. Sorry about that. I want to go off on a little tangent. What do you think, Chase? Did you see the announcement of this?
Yeah, so, man, I have a hard time, right? Because it's like, Steam, you can't do everything, and at what point are you going to mess one up? And I haven't seen them do it. Right? Like, Valve's doing great. They've got the Steam Deck. Steam Deck is killing it in the handheld game, right? Like, they're doing great.
Still
and here's what I look at. So when I look at the image you just showed, right, there's 4 things, right? There is a handheld, there's a controller, there is a console, and there is a VR headset. They can't be the best at all 4 things. I'm not saying they can't try. And I think they should try, because if they're going to beat everybody out, right? I just had the conversation the other day. Do you know the only reason that the PS5 is potentially better than the Xbox? It's because Sony decided to deal with the controller in this generation. Right? It's the only thing. It's the only variant.
Spider-Man.
That's one-sided a little bit, I think.
Spider-Man.
One-sided? Have you owned both of these consoles? I've put
understand.
time in both consoles, my friend.
I'm right there with you. The adaptive triggers and the rumble motor in the
Dude,
PS5
now,
DualSense controller is
guys,
awesome.
Guys, PS4 controller, one of the worst. They needed to make a change. So don't hear me going, Sony, you're so amazing. No, you screwed up, and then you decided to try to make it right. Now, here's the deal. If the Steam Deck, if the Steam machine outperforms those consoles at a price that is similar, like, what are we gonna do? Like, what are any of those other companies gonna do? And Adam, I would push back on your point of like, yeah, I hate exclusives. It's all they have left. Microsoft, it's all they have left. If we
PS5 though.
But see,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying. But what I'm saying is like if we're upset about exclusives, then we
That's dying
need to
now.
have. It's
That's
dying.
dying.
It's not going to
Good.
go away though.
it will.
Sony would be moronic to
No.
go. You know what we need to do? We need Insomniac, put them on everything. You know how many people bought a PlayStation? 2 of them are on this podcast to play Spider-Man. Guys,
Okay.
do you know how
Hold on.
you know how good your exclusive game has to be for people to buy entire consoles? You don't see me buying a Switch 2 just because I really need to play the new Mario Kart. Do you know how bad I've priced that up a million times where I'm like, I really want to play Mario Kart World. But I'm not buying a Switch for it. I'm not buying a Switch for it. I bought a PlayStation. I've bought both generations of PlayStation. I need you to hear this. I need the world to hear it. The last 2 generations, I started with an Xbox and I ended with a PlayStation. You know why? Spider-Man.
Okay, you're forgetting one thing, though. Here's the thing. And I actually love this approach. Here's what I think every game developer can do that has exclusives that works very well. Okay, as you know, Spider-Man and almost every single PS game that, not all, but the top ones that exist, do one thing. It's on PlayStation exclusively, right, for a time being, and then it goes to PC on Steam. Now, what a great concept, because now guess what? You're not saying, hey, PC gamers, you must buy a console that I'm going to lose money on so you can buy our games. They're not doing that. They're saying later on, which it could be, 2-3 months on the road, now it's going to be on PC. That I'm okay with.
It's not
okay, because now you have your...
It's like 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Even it's years. But even still, I can still play your game and not have to buy your console. Am I saying I hate the PS5? Not at all. Okay, what I am saying, though, is it's a good chunk of change to be able to play Spider-Man.
Right now had to... the Xbox at the moment.
Okay. What I'm saying is, if I have no PS5, I got to buy now your PS5, right? Plus, then Spider-Man, and then PS Plus. Just to play your game.
You don't have to buy PS Plus to... Actually, if you buy PS Plus, you get to play Spider-Man for free. And also,
okay.
I just think...
But you don't play it online, right? Is it online only, or is it...
No, it's a single player.
Single player only, okay. What I'm saying, though, is, like, do you see that concept, though? Like, how arrogant is a company going to be saying, you had to buy our console, that we're going to lose money on?
Well, now that the PC marketplace owns a console, more arrogant. Because PC players weren't buying consoles, and everybody knew that. But now,
that's true. Now
the PC marketplace is a console because Steam needs to be in there. And now the console guys might go, "Sorry, Steam, like we can't afford to give you our stuff because now you're just competing with they're directly competing." Now, here's my other question: we could go down this rabbit hole forever. Is the Steam machine am I going to be able to stream all of my streaming platform? Is it also going to be my multimedia device? Because how often are you booting up your PlayStation to watch Netflix?
Well,
to watch TV.
If you want a good comparison, here's a comparison.
It's not the right choice. Don't hear me say that everyone should be buying PlayStation and Xboxes for multimedia purposes. But people are using them.
Some people do. A lot do, actually. Like kids, that's what they have. They're not going to get like an Apple TV Plus their Xbox or PlayStation, right? They're going to use one device, and that's completely fine because it does well with that. But if you want a comparison to what this is going to be like, look at the Steam Deck, which I have a lot of experience with. And what I'll say is, one thing that I think that the Steam Deck destroys every other handheld in its entire category, it's because it runs not Windows. It runs Steam, which is a dang near flawless experience. Is it without flaw? No. I'll say this much though. Like the Windows bloatware on this and the background processes and all this other crap that you don't really want to see in a OS is not in this. So when you see like other competitors do, better specs and all this other stuff like the ROG Ally, they're good, but they still run Windows, which is still until they make that OS so good for gaming, it's not going to be the catch-all. And you can run SteamOS on other devices, which is great. So with that comparison, if you have a Steam machine that's also a PC, right, you can fully run, I think it's Arch or it's going to be something like that. It's a Linux-based OS. When you have that, plus it runs games just fantastic. This interface, to this day, no one's going to say that SteamOS interface is trash. It is so well made. It's so well thought out. They did a lot of work and it paid off well for them. And that's the thing. I think, and Valve has done this. They are so bold. I mean, in what they do. They don't look at what the industry says to do. They don't look at what people give for feedback. They do their own thing, and they do an immense amount of research. Like Gabe Newell's concept of doing stuff works well for them, and it shows. Did they have to make a console? Not even the slightest. But here's the reason for it. It's because now, if I had a Steam Deck, right, and if I have a PC, yes, I can play my games on Steam. But this dedicated device to showcase what they can do as the OS experience with playing games is going to make it nice, and that's going to encourage developers, hopefully, to make games compatible for more of this OS and Linux as a whole. That's the bigger concept of this entire thing. It's not to get you to buy more Steam games. It's not that at all, because here's what you can do with this. You can also install other games from other platforms. What a great concept. So, like, when you have that in place, it's a very bold move, but if it's at the right price point, that's a great push in the industry. They're not going to sell this because they want to make money. They're going to make it sell at a loss, like the Steam Deck. It's about changing the industry of gaming in a way that makes sense. Because right now, it's market capped at Windows, would you say? I mean, for the non-console experience. It's Windows. Every developer wants you to use Windows because that's what they are. But this is going to change things, and Steam Deck has changed things, and it definitely has in a great way. I mean, before the Steam Deck, you saw what? Nintendo in the handheld market, and then you had Sony. But Steam Deck pushed it to a whole new level, and now look what it's doing. I think there's going to be 9 different options for handhelds that are very powerful devices. Not in a million years. And now that's where it's shifting. So when you see this concept of what they're doing, it's not just a console, it's the OS that goes with it, and the whole great polished experience. So like that's what I like about Valve a lot. And am I saying they're the best at things? And that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying is they're trying to change the whole industry that is for the gamers, I think. That's just my guess from what I see what they do. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're making good moves. Like I said, like I look at that, I look at the article, right, and I go, okay, like there's a possibility they put out a great VR headset and a great controller and a great new Steam Deck and a great Steam machine, and we're all like, thank you, Valve, right? Like there's some grasping at straws to be upset about this, and until we have a price, I really don't think there's going to be any leg to stand on. Like, great job, honestly. Like it's like, thank you. Like, do the thing. There's nothing wrong with what you're trying to do here. I actually think you're making great moves. When they put it out for $1,400, then we can complain about it, but they're not going to do that, right? Like, it's not going to be that. So competition is good. Competition is good. I'm curious to see what the Sonys and the Microsoft do in response to this, because this is a threat to them, as it always is, right? Nintendo's really the only one living out here in their own land where, like, they are the only ones kind of doing what they're doing. Like Nintendo... Right. Speaking of exclusives, like here we are at Nintendo, right? But again,
I can't play any Mario games, but
right, like, but also, Nintendo has just been that, and that just is what that is. Like, we're not.
Yeah,
We're
it's
not
also
trying to.
bold.
game, you're buying a Switch.
Absolutely.
But see, I appreciate it with what they're doing. It's bold, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, you don't play any Mario Kart? Well, here's Switch 2. Do it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
is that a little cocky? Yes. But it worked for him. It
I
did.
wish it was more powerful.
Not
Doesn't-
the
but
Switch.
doesn't have
The
to
Switch
be.
knows they're your second console. They know. Nintendo knows. They're like,
Doesn't have to
everyone
be.
who has a Switch probably has a PC or a PlayStation or an Xbox sitting around. Like, they know they are console number 2. They are the party console. Like, they are the upgrade to buying Jackbox games anymore, right? Like, that's what's happening. They are the premier party games, and that's it. And they're doing a great job at that, right? Like, that's what they are. They're their niche, and they're not trying to compete with the Steam Deck. But that's off topic a little bit.
I'm excited because I'm a huge fan of Valve, huge fan of Steam, and what I'm saying is, man, I'm a little bit biased with this topic, but I like to see it, and I'm very curious to see it. Like, this is supposed to be 10 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. That is insane. That's nuts. Because the Steam Deck plays just about my whole Steam catalog, besides the AAA title games that refuse to let you use the Steam Deck. But in any case, like, you look at its specs, it's pretty close to like an Xbox and a PS5 minus the GPU, right? So it's just nice to see what they're doing with things. And this I wish they just would have set the price. People are just going nuts over this. And here, let's say the podcast, and then we'll move on to the next topic. What price do we all think is going to be for the Steam machine? Chase, you're first. Just a guess.
$750.
Kwesi?
Well, I'll do lower. I'll go 650.
I'm going to say $599.
I think I win this.
And we'll see. And this is not competition. I'm just curious what you guys think.
No, it's always a competition.
Okay.
There's no
Okay.
such
The
thing.
VR, the Steam frame, the VR headset. How much do you think, Chase?
Man, I haven't. They're gonna. Man, that one's more difficult for me.
I'll
I
tell
bet
you what
they're
the
gonna
last
go.
one was. $1,000.
The last what was?
They had a VR AR headset before that was like tied to a
You
PC.
think it's $1,000? Man,
No,
I bet
that's
this
what the
one's
last
cheap.
one
I bet it's
was.
cheaper. I bet it's cheaper than the Steam machine, and I'm going 600 on that one. I think they're dropping it. They're trying to get competitive.
How much does an
Kwesi.
Oculus cost?
$599, I think. MetaQuest 3.
It's the Oculus is $499. It looks like.
$499.
So you know what? I'll go around $550.
I'm gonna say $700 for this one.
I think I win this again. I'm just saying.
The reason why I say that is because it's getting close to the other one. It's on its own. It has its own OS built into it, like most of the other ones do, and the specs are higher too. So because of that, it's gonna be a little more expensive. Is this going to replace the Vision Pro? Probably not, right? But I think it's going to be
Nobody's
very
gaming on a Vision Pro for
nice. No, they're not. They're just not. They're just not at all. But I think this is
they're
going to be a little
doing
more
little
expensive, but not
3D
too expensive.
things.
And,
Have
okay,
you
last
tried on a
one,
Vision
the
Pro?
controller.
Have I tried on the Vision Pro?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What
sir,
were
I
your
have.
thoughts? I know it's a little bit off topic, but like,
Here, I'll give my thoughts in
It's
like
fine.
30 seconds. I think that the Vision Pro is a fantastic thing, and I think the fact that Apple is not calling it a VR headset and they're being very specific about that is accurate. Do I have a use case for it? No. Do I think most people have a use case for it? No. And that's why I don't think it's like selling like crazy, but I think if you find a use case for the Vision Pro, it could be like life-changing for you. Like the way you are able to work and the effectiveness in which it does what it's designed to do. Like the augmented reality is crazy. Like I could sit here and have windows of my computer all over like my room, and I could walk away and I come back and they're still sitting here when I sit back on like in this chair. So do I think it's great technology? Yes. Do I think that they like created a technology that isn't like the world isn't quite ready to use? Yes, but you have to do that in order for the world to figure out how to use it. That's my 2 cents on
Yes,
the
I completely agree with Chase. Okay, lastly, the Steam controller. How much do you think it's going to be?
Well,
Chase.
the controller can't be more than $100. Oh, sorry, Chase, you were supposed to go first.
I'm going to call it $74.99.
Well, the DualShock is $79.99, I think. So
Correct. I did know that one.
I'll go with $100 flat. Just the price of the Xbox, the Elite controller, and the PlayStation Elite controller. I think those are actually both 120. You know,
I think it's going to be 60 bucks.
$60. Interesting.
Okay, then hot take, Adam. You think they're going to drop a pro version?
Not right off the bat.
Because your price point tells me that you think that they're going to drop a $110 version at some point.
No, here's why I say that. Of these 3 new devices, that's even hard to say that even. I don't think they're going to sell as much as they want to. I think the entire purpose of this Steam controller is for you playing. So like you see in this showcase, the Steam Deck, there's not a new Steam Deck. That's not why they showed this. They're showing this family of consoles that they're doing, right? So this device, this controller works for each, the Steam Deck, the VR headset, and the Steam Machine, and a PC, and everything else, Bluetooth as well. So I think that the showcase of this is going to be so nice that their focus is on the rest of them. This is an accessory to what we're making that's great. So I don't think they're going to try to make so much money off of this, right? They want people to use it, but do you have to use this to enjoy Steam? No, right? They know you can use an Xbox or a PlayStation 1 or whatever else. It's basically they're taking the Steam Deck, cutting off of the screen, they're using that. That's basically what it is. So it's very ergonomic. I know people say it looks weird. I kind of want to get one.
It does look
because I want to use it anyway. But I don't think they're going to try to charge too much for it. It's not their focus. Their focus is the Steam Machine, which I think comes with this, and then their VR AR headset. So I don't think they're going to try to push this and just try and make gobs money off it like people do with like Xbox and stuff. That's just my take. I could be wrong. Because Valve, keep this in mind, Valve does weird things in a good way. They don't think like everybody else does. They just don't. Not at all. And I kind of wish they always do that because it makes them unique in their own way. Like, you know, Valve looks right now, just look at the Steam Deck. It came out a ways ago, right? It's not new. They have the OLED version. That's not a Steam Deck 2, but it's better. It's weird. But they look at all these, like the ROG Ally X, the, you know, Legion Go, and all these other ones that completely destroy the Steam Deck in specs every way, right? And it should because it's new. They're not like, well, it's our turn now. They're waiting for AMD to make a chipset that's worthy of the Steam Deck 2. Who does that? Everybody else is going to try to push something out now because they want to. It's market's competition. No. They're waiting to make the user experience incredible. So when there is Deck 2, and they confirmed it in this little announcement for this, that they're working on Deck 2, that is going to blow everybody out of the water. Even these that you see here. Hands down. I guarantee you. Guarantee it. So, all to say that the controller is going to be, I think, around $60. That's my guess. Okay. Whew. That's a lot. Sorry, guys. That was a big topic. It was three announcements, basically. Okay.
Hey, well, that's great. But let's move on to something that... You ready to move?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you got more to say? Because
no,
I'll keep us rolling. Yeah, go ahead.
I think...
All right.
Next one's... I don't even know who's supposed to do the next one now. Let's just pick.
I thought it was me. Go
ahead, Chase.
I thought this was me. I was trying to be...
I just forgot.
I'm over here fumbling.
I picked up on that, Chase.
I'm over here fumbling the first one, and Adam's over here. He's like, this one's yours. And this one, I'm like trying to just jump in and be clean. It's fine. It's great. Adam, you were very passionate about this last one, right? And I appreciate that about you. And here's the deal. We've talked about a lot of new today, right? But what we haven't talked about is that Red Dead Redemption is deciding to re-release on all modern platforms, essentially. You can get it on your PlayStation 5. You get it on your Xbox. You can get it on iOS. You can get it on Android, right? So what have we talked about today? We talked about terrible single player experiences. Everybody, welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 1. Here we are.
Yes.
And not only can you play it, if you've already owned Red Dead Redemption, you now get the new version of Red Dead Redemption with a DLC just for having it before, which is fantastic. Like, sometimes I see this and I'm like, what in the money grab are we doing? There's potentially no money grab. Potentially.
I think it's
like,
just to bring this game to what people haven't played before. You know? Like, does this have any business being on your iPhone? No.
Zero.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited
Zero
for
business.
that.
You know how many people are going to replay it, though, because they can play it on their iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, you can use your Xbox or PS5 controller to play with this, or just, you know, what's on screen. So is this impossible? Is the iPhone not good enough to play this? Absolutely not. This came out far long ago, right? I'm excited for this. Sorry, Chase. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No.
Excited.
I think this is fun. And let's just say, good on them. In the climate of, we just talked about one of the biggest, you know, video game companies fumbling on a campaign. You want a single player game that's worth playing again? Here you go.
Yes.
Like,
talk about a great game.
Here you go. Get out west again. Sling some bullets around and ride some horses and, like, have a great time. Like, what are we doing? This is a game. This is a game that's built for you to enjoy it and built on a great campaign. Just go enjoy some Red Dead Redemption for no reason other than you can.
The other issue, I guess, with this that people, it's just me. For the iOS experience, it does require you to have Netflix. So it's going through Netflix to release it, which is a very odd, very interesting concept. I know they're doing that for iOS games, but, like, that's how you're going to deliver this? It seems weird. It seems like that Rockstar has enough power and money and things to just release it on their own platform for iOS, but it's okay. They're doing this. Is it the worst thing? No. I think that Rockstar is trying to perhaps get some people to like them again. They're having some backlash of their own with GTA 6. Now, am I saying that is a game going to be really bad? No. I think that game is going to be probably the best game ever created, most likely. I have to hope it is. Yeah. I mean, just things that I'm seeing, like, from all these people, they're giving hints about what's going to have, like, how you can buy property and manage property and be, like, your own landlord if you want to. And, like, their finer details. From what they're saying in GTA 6, it's the last GTA game made. Now, you think that's a sad thing. No. They're going to keep this going and make updates for it, and that's their game. They're that confident of this game. Kind of like Minecraft, yes.
Speaking of which,
so,
did you know that Minecraft has shelves now? I didn't know that.
What in the rabbit trail is Minecraft has shelves? Bro, no. Minecraft has shelves.
That's
nice. Yeah. What?
It was just so
what are you putting on your shelves? What's the first thing you put on your Minecraft shelf?
I put a stone pickaxe on it because I was like, so we were on the crafting bench and I was like, a shelf? What does it mean, a shelf? Right, so I crafted one, put a stone pickaxe in there, and I was like, oh, it's a shelf. And I know it probably shouldn't have been so revolutionary to me. Like,
in the world we talk in right here, guys, there's the steam machine and there's Minecraft shelves, all right? And you know what people are talking about? Apparently the Minecraft shelf.
It was very impressive. Hey. I'm very proud of it.
This is not, honestly, if you want to talk about the joy of Minecraft in one sentence, it should be what you just said. Minecraft has shelves, and we are pumped about it. And the world should be pumped about it because Minecraft keeps doing it. Here we go. We got shelves now, man. We got shelves.
Yes.
Someone's going to be in the comments be like, we've had shelves for a really long time. But
no, it's going to be like really bad because they're going to be like, this has been around since like 1.16, and I'm going to be like, no, it hasn't. It's going to be a crazy Mandela effect. Anyway, speaking of cooperative games, we were talking about how the Switch 2 is the main console for cooperative games, the main party game console. And, you know, unfortunately, we see that Nintendo just doesn't like third-party docks, right? They just don't want to give... If you buy a Switch 2, right? This is another thing I hate about the Switch 2. Nintendo has tried to make it so that you can only do what Nintendo wants you to do with this console. Did you know that if you buy the Switch 2 and then maybe you get online wrong, right? Maybe your IP address is wrong because you were using a VPN, and Nintendo deems that you were cheating. They're just going to brick your entire console. I hate that. And, Nintendo's been doing a lot of not user-friendly things, and this is another one. They're not allowing you to use third-party consoles to connect your Switch 2 to your TV. The thing is, this is just recent. Beforehand, all these docks worked perfectly, but then Nintendo released a firmware update that said, "Hey, the next time I'm plugged into something that isn't Nintendo, I'm just not going to work." No, that's horrible. I think that they should be sued for every dime they have. Shut the company down. Maybe not that extreme, but you get what I'm saying. It was egregious that they would even come up with something like that.
Well, we don't know for sure if this is intentional. Let's put that out there. It might be.
No, it's intentional. It's 100,000% intentional. You
But
cannot make a mistake like that.
what if I bought a dock, Kwesi and Chase? Because I don't want my Switch 2 screen to scratch for using what it comes with. Now
Doesn't matter.
I can't do that. They want you to use a dock, like Kwesi said. And the Switch 2 dock, although functionality it works, it is designed so poorly. If it can scratch the very screen of the console that it bears, that's disgusting. And it has. Several people have mentioned this several different times. You put it into the dock, it can wobble like a teeter-totter at a playground. Why does it do that? It should be secure like the first one was. Now that port that's plugged into can potentially break because it just wobbles too much. So now I might want to just try a different dock because guess what? USB-C should work, right? Well, in the past, that didn't work so well either, but they had official docks and non-official docks that you can use. And, well, they kind of stopped that. That's why I want to bring this up, because to me, it's one more control point they're trying to capture. And for what reason? I already bought the Switch 2. Why are you making me now use your Switch dock that it comes with? Now, thankfully, it doesn't cost extra for it. It doesn't cost extra. That's the thing that is it makes sense a little bit. But now you're forcing me to use that specific one. At what point are you going to say, I can't use a Sony TV because it's a competition? What point does it stop? Is my question. So, this makes me a little bit upset, and Kwesi obviously is upset about this. What are your thoughts, Chase?
Is it stopping anyone from buying a Switch 2? Is it stopping anybody? Kwesi, you weren't buying one. You weren't buying one. We just talked. I have you. Rewind the tapes. We just talked about how it ain't worth it. It's on this episode. Kwesi wasn't buying one. Not for himself.
Not for myself.
Not for you.
No.
Not for you. No. Right? People who are buying a Switch 2 don't care about this. Nintendo, do whatever you want. I guess we're the wrong people, I think. The people that want a Steam Deck are going to complain about the fact that the Switch 2 wobbles. The kids that want to play Mario Party don't care. And they should care. This should matter. This should matter a lot. This should be as infuriating as Kwesi just was. This should be infuriating. It's not going to hurt them. And I don't know how it keeps happening, but it's not. And do you know why? Because the Switch 2 is what it is. It is your second console.
But see, I want to like this console so much. I want to play the new games from Nintendo.
I do too.
I hate that my Switch 1 is basically obsolete. It's not quote obsolete.
And you would think.
Nah, it's not obsolete. I got a Wii connected to my TV right now. Nintendo doesn't go obsolete.
The reason why I say is
I
because
also have a Wii U.
You can't play new Mario Kart World or new games that come out with Switch 2 on Switch 1. Or most games are coming out are only for Switch 2. So they're not saying it's obsolete, but it pretty much is. We can't play new games at all. So then that's sad. Because like you said, it's a great number 2 console. That's great for party games and playing games with your friends. That's nice. So I want to like this so much, but they keep doing this stuff that just makes me more irritated at Nintendo. And for what reason?
There's the question. There it is.
Reason.
There it is, right? Here's the deal. Yeah, but I'm not buying a Switch 2 because I'm talking about their negative press. So this is where I go back to Adam's point. Why? Why does it matter? And so it's like, okay, let's talk about the options, right? Let's say this is a total mistake and we have a firmware update, which I don't believe it is. And they're just like, then it's just going to get fixed. And then, sure, maybe it was like a attention grabber, right? And now we're talking about it, and then a month they're going to fix it. But I don't think that's true, because I don't think Nintendo really cares what we're thinking, because they keep doing stuff that proves they don't really care what we're thinking, because they know that who's going to buy a Nintendo Switch 2 is going to buy a Switch 2, and that's fine. But
And they're still selling like crazy.
as a Nintendo fan, I would just say my 2 cents and my piece, which is Nintendo, just be nice to us for 2 seconds. Just choose to make this nice for us for 2 seconds. Like, just decide to make something that doesn't have controversy, because it sure feels like we're choosing to have all the controversy that we're having, and I don't understand that. Like, stop choosing to give us things to be like, this is why we don't like Nintendo right now. Like, Nintendo, you're not that bulletproof. You feel bulletproof. You're not that bulletproof. Some point you're going to go too far, and I don't know why you're doing any of it, and I'm kind of bummed that I have to keep asking Nintendo, why are you asking us to defend you? And maybe they don't care, right? Maybe they don't care, but I'm like, at some point, you got to stop asking us all to defend you, because it's getting really difficult.
No.
Well, yeah, and just when I try to convince myself to get a Switch 2, because I know there's games I have and I want to play that coming out, but then you just see they just throw out something else. You're like, are you just testing me to see what's going to make me stop completely? Because like, I'm still on the edge. I still kind of want to get this, but I also can't stand on the whole, like, and Kwesi he was more mad than I can imagine about the whole cartridge thing. How you don't have the game in the cartridge
Yeah, that
anymore,
was
so it's
nonsense,
pointless.
too. Don't get me started. This console's horrible. No,
All I'm trying to say is, they made a lot of bad choices. Is it a risk? Yes. Is it bold? Yes. I think that they're going to learn from this, and they're going to make the next one a little better, right? Because, well, they have to. You can only go up from here. They're really just making it harder to even consider them anymore, because they're just making weird choices.
You know what?
I don't know why.
They're making weird choices, but Nintendo, if you aren't the best social experiment on how powerful great independent games are and exclusive games are, then I don't know what it is. Because you are making such choices that are terrible, but so many of us want to play Mario so bad that we're like, we'll buy a Switch 2. And so I don't know how you replicate this, Microsoft and Sony, but to compete with the Steam machine, this is why I don't think exclusive games are going away, because Nintendo is the best social experiment of exclusive games I've ever seen, because they put out a new console and they keep making decisions that says, you know who we don't care about? Anybody else. And you know who's going to keep buying this? Everybody else. And you know why? Because Mario is freaking cool.
They're really good at that.
And we can't play it anywhere else. Right. So they've actually held on to exclusives so tight that they feel like a bulletproof company. And
it's all fun and games till Mario becomes public domain. When Mario becomes public domain, it's over for them. I promise.
Nah,
that's true.
Mickey Mouse becomes public domain next year.
Yeah,
not that has to do with anything.
That's for sure it.
That's gonna get uncomfortable for everybody. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, let's go to the next topic, guys. This is just so pet, and I know we're going over, and I don't care. This is just a great episode, and I love this discussion. Okay, this one won't go. This is gonna be a fast topic. If you guys do not know, Warner Bros. Is up for sale by themselves. And we're seeing a whole bunch of people that want to buy them. So and I don't know why, because they're not doing the worst of what they do. They know they can't do better, and they're just giving it up. I don't know exactly. But they're up for sale, and we see places like Paramount, Netflix, and Comcast comparing their bids. So now Warner Brothers also owns Discovery, just so you guys know, which I think is a great, great network. And I'm just curious, and that also includes HBO, by the way, too. HBO Max content, which is really good content, too. So, my question is, for you guys, if you had to guess, who is going to have the highest bid and successfully purchase Warner Brothers and Discovery and HBO, who do you think it's going to be? if they
See
if they
here,
bid that high.
sorry, Comcast, yeah.
If they bid that high.
I just don't see why they wouldn't. You know, it's just this is a win-win for them. They'd be acquiring a lot of IPs, like for example, Superman, Batman, two of the most popular superheroes ever from Warner Bros. And then they also get the rights to LeBron James's Space Jam, in addition to Michael Jordan's Space Jam. Like there's
Game
just
of
so
Thrones.
much IP that that Warner Bros. Has that would make sense anywhere else, to be quite honest with you.
Well, but okay, for me, I'm gonna say Paramount. I think they're going because they're kind of dipping a little bit in some things. They're not doing terrible, but they're also they're a big player in the game. And why I say Paramount because Comcast kind of does things that I don't like in the whole movie studio phase. So and I can't stand Netflix. They ruin good quality shows and movies and their quality physically of the files.
Stuff.
Name 10 things right now that they make really good.
Hey, so that's an unpatched method in which it wipes people's memories when you say name a time or name a thing. So I just can't help you at the moment. But I know.
Okay, all I'm saying
there's at
is
least 10 good things.
My word. Kwesi's acting like he's a computer. You need to write new code for him to get to answer your question.
what I'm
My
saying
word.
is Netflix makes average content and lots of it. There's not anybody saying, I just cannot wait to see this new Netflix movie or show. They're better at shows and movies, and
Isn't
they know what they're
Stranger Things
doing.
on Netflix, or?
Yeah, but like that's one thing that they're really good at. They're
They also had
not
Squid Game.
okay, but they didn't create that. Someone else did. They just published it on Netflix.
He just said he can't name things, and now he keeps interrupting you to name things. This is the wildest thing.
Okay. But
Calm
what I'm
it
saying
down.
is they're not known to make exceptional quality media. Would you all agree with that?
Think I'd
They're-
have to
they're just
disagree with
not.
that.
I
You're
think
disagreeing?
I think that Netflix did it first, and I think Netflix actually needs this the worst
They probably
because
do,
I think
actually.
we are on a trajectory where in 10 years, that might be too soon. I think we're on a trajectory where Netflix is going to go away. Because other than original things, right? Like the Stranger Things, the Squid Games that are only on Netflix, right? Like Paramount, Comcast, which is over here with NBC, they now have Peacock, right? Like they have a library of things that are theirs already. That's great content and great TV, right?
You're right.
And because of that, I go, eventually, like everything that Netflix has that really keeps them afloat could get bought. Because the best things on Netflix didn't make, right? There are some great Netflix originals. So I think Netflix needs it the worst. They need it the worst. I think it's going to end up with Paramount because I think the ceiling is highest. Like Paramount's going to go, we need an edge over the Comcast stuff. Like Comcast is just like Comcast
Too
feels
large.
bigger. They don't need it.
Isn't it actually bigger?
Right. Like it, but what I'm
Yes.
saying is like, it not only is it bigger, but like it just feels bigger. Like there's more going on. Right. And so it's like, I think that, and for some reason, and I can't explain this any other than a gut feeling, I feel like Warner Bros. It just like feels more natural on Paramount. Like it just,
Yes.
it feels like Paramount to me screams movies in a way that Peacock doesn't and NBC doesn't and Comcast as a whole doesn't. And Warner Bros. Screams movies to me. And I'm just like, Paramount, go out and get yourself some more great movies to bring people to your service. I have Paramount Plus.
No, Looney
I love
Tunes
it.
Looney Tunes doesn't really scream movie to me, and that's a Warner Bros.
No.
IP.
Well, it is, but that's not what they're talking about here. You got to keep in mind that it's also HBO, too,
Right.
which is they're killing it in a lot of ways. I mean, they're having some issues right now. But one thing I'll also keep this in mind too: if you guys don't know about Netflix, there's a whole category of Netflix people don't realize that does them so well. And that is Korean, Japanese, and Chinese like dramas and movies and shows. That is a huge, huge, huge part of Netflix. It's because there's only one other place in the whole United States that has it, and that's Rakuten. It's Viki, is what it is. I know it's because I have people that watch it. I don't really watch it. My wife loves that stuff, but that is a massive market, and it is huge in the United States now. And that is what they've tapped into. They don't forget about that with Netflix. Their own original content, I mean, I could probably name 5 shows and movies that I know that they made that are good, but I wish, and it's not that they can't do it. They just choose not to, I think. It's a budget thing or whatever it's going to be. But it gets them people that stay on the platform and that works for them. But is it that, like, I don't think Netflix have they ever made a movie that went into theaters?
K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh, that's another great one that I didn't mention. K-pop Demon Hunters is probably the greatest movie I saw all year. And I saw it fun this year.
Would that go in theaters or no?
Yeah, it was in theaters
It did?
for a weekend.
Okay. So they're on the right track then. But beyond that, though, it's not too much. I mean, Apple did with F1, great thing for them too. So I'm not sure what the price is going to be. People are estimating billions of dollars here for this deal. It has to be for what they have.
Billions of dollars. I think that's a safe bet.
But they're up for sale. I'm just curious to see who's going to get that. Like what Chase is saying, I think Paramount's a better option for owning this content over the rest of them. I think Comcast would get way too big, and it's just a little bit more. It's not a good market saturation. It's too much for them to have. Netflix, it'd be nice if they had it, but at the same time, it's not that vibe that I'm thinking that they should have. It's just not. It's like if Dairy Queen bought Joe's Crab Shack. 2 different things in my head, and this is where I think Netflix is just in the same category, but not quite this content category. If that makes sense. Just my opinion. I think Paramount's a better option.
I think that Netflix should want it for the originals that are on HBO.
Which they had at one point.
Right? Like HBO is part of this. And that's going to be a pretty big player that we're not really talking about. But I think it's going to end up with Paramount or with Comcast. And I think that Netflix is going to just like allow themselves to be who they are at this point. I just don't like.
There's more
but I think they need it
with Paramount and Comcast.
Yeah.
For sure.
I hope it ends up with Paramount, but whatever.
Okay, so let's go with the last topic, and this one's for Kwesi. We'll kind of go through this a little fast, Kwesi, because we don't have a lot of information, but it's still nice to have this. And then we'll go on to the last product of the week and app of the week.
So cool. So everybody knows that Samsung has always been the pioneer in the foldable phones category, right? Back in whenever year it was, they came out with the first folding phone, and you'll never believe what they called it. All right, and now they're thinking of making. They've been in development for a little bit of Galaxy Z Trifold, not just a fold, a trifold. You might be like, Kwesi, does that mean 3 perchance? And I'd say, dear viewer, yes, this phone is a 3-fold phone. Now, that doesn't mean it folds 3 times. I lied to you. Does it fold 3 times? It looks like there's 2 hinges, so it would only fold twice, right?
It just folds twice,
But it has 3 screens. So I guess maybe it doesn't fold 3 times, but it has 3 screens, and that's the important part, dear viewer, right? The phone is going to have 3 screens, which is more than anyone needs, right? Am I going to purchase this? No. But let's look at some of the stats here. Let's see if we can find any of the tech specs, right? It's looking like it's going to have a 6.5-inch cover display, and then when you unfold it, it'll be about 10 inches, right?
That's iPad mini size, isn't it?
Phone? No, the iPad mini is 8 inches.
No, sorry.
So it's bigger than that.
I was wrong.
Do you need a 10-inch phone? I'll let you decide. All right, it gets up to 2,600 nits of max brightness. Not crazy, but not horrible. A 5,437 milliamp hour battery.
Actually, it's a lot, actually.
That's a lot of battery.
That's a lot of net brightness.
2,600 nits?
That's
really
a lot.
Hold on.
That's a lot.
We love our nits, man.
Yeah. It's probably more than anything else has right now for a phone.
My word.
Oh.
Okay.
No, that
Battery's
that's pretty
nice.
bright. Yeah, no, my apologies. You know,
It's
I thought my
okay.
phone had 20,000 for some reason. I made a horrible.
He's out here lighting
mistake.
up the whole entire forest with his
Yes.
phone.
My apologies. That is a lot of brightness. That is
The
that
nits,
is kind
man.
of crazy. And then a 5,437 milliamp hour battery. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the battery power right there. 200 megapixel main camera.
Kind of had to
Right.
for that 10-inch screen, though.
This is true. Yeah, I don't know if the battery's gonna last as long as the number says 500. Yes.
We'll see.
So, and it's gonna run a Snapdragon chip, but we don't know which processor yet, right? And those are the most important facts.
Whoa, hold
aside
up,
from the fact that it folds.
The camera.
Yeah, I
Forget
said
about the
200
camera.
megapixel
Oh,
main camera, and
we don't know much about that.
It really
either.
doesn't matter how many megapixels. I could have a 1,000 megapixel camera, and if my sensor isn't big enough to really take in the light and take in all the information, then it's going to be useless, right? So, let's see what they have. Chase, I see you shaking your head.
Go ahead, Chase. And I have a fun thing to discuss before Chase says anything. I just feel really bad. I mean, really bad for the case manufacturers for this phone. That's gonna be hard to make. That's all I'm saying. Isn't it's gonna be easy? Not at all. Like, how do you protect all of that, all the screens, all the folds? I don't know. That's
Hopes
all I'm
and
saying.
prayers.
That's a challenging feat for any fold, not just this one. Any fold. Go ahead, Chase. I know you have some things to say here.
Samsung and Kwesi are doing the same things. They're grasping at straws. We shouldn't even be talking about this. We don't even. There's nothing to even. What it folds twice. You have a phone that can be your iPad. Who cares? Who's doing this? What? Tell me who's doing this. Are you buying it, Kwesi? Kwesi, are you gonna buy this?
Am I gonna buy it?
Are you even considering buying it? You have spent no. You have spent more time. If I was paying you per hour what you are worth at a job right now, you have spent more money on it talking about it right now than you will ever spend on it in your whole life. Is this true?
While this is true,
No,
the
no,
only
no,
reason
no,
it's
no,
true
no.
is
Is that
because
true?
it's the first generation.
Who cares?
Right? I know it's gonna be bad because it's the first generation, but in a couple generations, I might think about it.
Who's
You know?
okay? Also, here's the other deal. Kwesi's over here talking about all these specs. He doesn't even know the specs of his own phone. That's how much the world cares about these specs. No, how many nits does your phone have? How many nits does your phone
thought it
have?
had So
Yeah,
I added,
you
I
thought
added
no,
an extra zero. I
You
added
added-
an extra zero.
No,
I added
bro,
an extra zero.
bro, no. Here's the
I
deal.
added an
He's
extra
over here
zero.
talking about all these specs. People don't care. People are gonna buy this. Okay? Because it's a fun thing. It's a trifold. You know what? You brought up Mike. You know one phone I watched him return? A folding phone. He was like, "Nah, this thing sucks," and he sent it back.
Well, it was the Google one, Google Pixel Fold.
It was
the
it was
first
not
version.
great, right? It was bad. But I'm just like, guys,
No.
good for Samsung. Great. I'm glad they're making something new. People need to make new things. But
Here's the thing.
Come on.
Here's the flip side of things, okay? We all have iPhones. Okay, this is an Apple focused podcast. Let's flip this a little bit. Let's say that next year, Apple comes out with a fold, which they are. But now they make it a trifold. Also, they have a bifold and a trifold. Does that
they
change
selling
your
wallets
perspective?
now? Like, what are we doing?
Are you okay? Let's say that you guys had 10,000 in the bank for this very purchase to get the iPhone Fold next year. Are you getting it?
I have $10,000 to spend on a phone?
Yes. So take money out of the equation. Is just the idea and concept of a fold from Apple, and not just Samsung. Is that something you're interested in at all? Does it?
No.
Does it pique your interest? No.
No.
I'm saying the same thing.
It doesn't like I think honestly like Samsung could be putting out the best phone on every metric right now, and I don't think I would care. And it's not because it's Samsung, it's because like I don't need a folding phone.
Sorry, no. I thought you were gonna say it's because you of an Apple ecosystem. I take back my sheep.
No.
comment.
No, if like Apple did this, I'd be like, cool, give me my regular iPhone that like I know like I don't know. My phone is just like not the place that I'm like trying to do like, I don't know. I'm not interested.
Same here. For me, it's one more layer to get to my content. Yes, there's an outside screen. I get that. But at the same time, if I want to use the phone and it's full in capacity, it's one more open. Now, this is going to be like, until you get used to opening this up in a certain way, it's one more extra layer to get to my content. I want the small, thin screen up front. I want to be able to I get it in my pocket and it's unlocked. I'm ready to go. I don't want just the extra layer of things. And in my head, the hinge itself, and now 3 screens or 4 it's going to be, it's just one more thing that could fail, right? We've seen with folds in the past that this is an issue because of dust and various things can get in there. I just think that this is not something I'm ready for yet. Am I saying ever? Probably not. But for me, even if Apple made something just like this now, I'm just not ready for that. It's too much for what I need right now. I have an iPad. I have a phone. I have a laptop. At what point is this going to be just a confusing device for me to have in my lineup of things? For me, it's just I'm not there yet. I might be in the future, and who knows? We're all talking about this now until we see what Apple does to the iPhone Fold. We're like, wow, this is different. This is going to be way better. I don't know.
You know what? Clip me
it.
when that happens. If the Fold comes out and I said I'm buying it for sure, you guys can all call me a hypocrite. But here's the deal. I have a question for all the people who are going to buy a folding phone. Do you want a folding phone because you can get more screen on your phone? Or would you want a folding phone because it would make your phone smaller? Because this thing does one of those two things, and that's why I'm not interested. I might take a folding phone because the profile got smaller in my pocket, for example. Right? Maybe I would take a folding phone for that. I don't need a folding phone because it can also be the size of my iPad. I think that's why I think this is comical.
Great point. Great point.
I think that's why it's comical to me. That's why I laugh, because I'm like, I don't need my phone to compete with my iPad, right? I think that's why the iPad mini is a funny gray area in the middle, because it's not quite big enough to be its own, but it's not also, it's a funny little thing. Oh. I love an iPad mini. I'm not bashing an iPad mini.
That kind of sounds like you were
relax.
That's a little attack.
Relax, my friend. Relax. Like, I think the iPad mini has a place. Like, people buy them. They like them. But I'm like, I just don't need my phone to also be my tablet, is my point. But
I agree.
Phones are getting big, and so I don't know. My phone takes up less space in my pocket. Maybe that's something I'm interested in. I don't know. I'd have to see it.
Well, speaking of things that Chase likes, let's go to Product of the Week.
Speaking of things that Chase likes, that's so funny. All right, I'm up first, huh?
Yes, let's do
All
it.
right.
Go ahead, Chase.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory. It's gonna take 4 seconds. I've been shopping for some new speakers in my home. Right, I have been a soundbar guy, not because it's the best, but because it's the easiest. Right now, I'm a high audio kind of. I love myself some good tunes.
Sorry,
I want stuff to sound good. I want stuff to be good. I found a great deal on these, and I bought myself a whole slew of things on Marketplace. And the best piece on the whole thing are a couple of Klipsch bookshelf speakers, right? They are the R51M bookshelf speaker. I have a pair of them as the left-right in my system.
And Kwesi's going to pull up right now so you can see them too.
Yeah. Here's what I like about them. You can go read all of your reviews, and they will say, nah, you should go up one more line, right? You should have the nicer ones. Yeah, there's always nicer speakers, right? Dude, these things kick, and they do a great job. You need a pair of bookshelf speakers. I recommend them. And what? They're $250
for a pair.
Go try it for the pair.
That's nice.
And honestly, if you go down here and you buy like the renewed version, I think you get under $200.
It's 340 watts is nice for these speakers too,
dude. And they just they sound crisp, right? And especially if you're gonna like pair them with a subwoofer, I'm not saying it's needed. I'm saying if you were gonna pair them with something like that, they do the job entirely. And I mean, my living room sounds great. I have a large apartment living room, and what I mean is it's not a large living room, but it's pretty big for just a standard apartment. And I think they're great, and they sound awesome, and I think they sound really clean, and that's how I would word them.
And for your price,
they're clean. They're a clean experience, and I think for the price, like, what is there to complain about? So that's my product of the week.
Nice. Okay, Kwesi.
Well, let me pivot and go to mine. Um, Chase's speakers are obviously going to blow my little headphones out the water. But here's the thing. For just a fraction of the price of what Chase's cost, you can get these GT Gtheos or Gtheos 2.4 gigahertz wireless gaming headsets for less than a quarter of the price, right? And you might be like, Kwesi, why are you recommending this week? Well, I recently got a PS5, and it was really bad when I realized that PS5 does not support any Bluetooth wireless audio, right? And I was like, wow. Oh, well, sorry, they do support Bluetooth. They just don't support Bluetooth audio devices, is what it said to me, right? And I was like, oh. Well, I don't have a gaming headset then, right? So I started looking, right? And I was like, I need a gaming headset. So this is what I will be purchasing later on this week. Last week I bought a speaker. I was very happy with my purchase. Like I said, I'll let you guys know this week. But let's hope I'm happy with my purchase this week. I'll let you guys know next week whether or not these are great. Apparently it has 3 modes. It has a 2.4 gigahertz mode, a Bluetooth mode, and a wired mode. And as everyone knows, if you're playing an online game, you want everything wired to get as much latency removed as possible. So that's what we're going to be using here. And that's my product of the week.
Okay. Now, I'll talk about mine, and I actually have mine with me right now. The unveiled Ultra by Olight. Now, this is a brand that before I started working where I'm working now, I did not know about this at all. My boss told me about that, and I got hooked with Olight. And I had for a very long time with Olight a brand deal with them with my TikTok, personal one. I'm trying to get on the podcast. I'm working very hard to do that. But anyway, the unveiled Ultra, which seems expensive, I get that. It's a $100 flashlight, right? $120 in this case. But let me tell you that not many flashlights have a laser pointer. If I can kind of do this. UV light for seeing things you can't see normally. And then a 1400 lume flashlight that goes in 3 different modes. It's very nice, and this is the first thing I got from Olight that is just great and practical. It's thin, lifetime warranty, and I think it's just fantastic. So that's my product of the week. Is Olight unveiled Ultra. Okay, let's move to app of the week. We'll start with Chase this week.
All right. My app of the week is a little app called Monarch. It is a budget tracking app. I use this personally all the time to keep track of my finances. You will not find me being a guy that's like pinching pennies. But one of the features that they have come out with that I appreciate is when you build your budget, you can have a bucket that is fixed and a budget that is flexible. So things like rent, that's a fixed expense. You're paying that every month, right? But over in your flexible, right, it allows you to go, I didn't eat out as much this week, but I overdid it on the shopping, but my entire flexible budget within that big bucket is still under budget, and therefore I'm still good. And I think that's a little creative way to kind of be like, oh, like it's allowing these buckets to kind of feed into each other this month, which is an actual more realistic way for the way we spend money, right? I didn't buy that coffee so that I could go, be closer to buying that game or whatever. And so it kind of allows you to do those things. I think it's a really clean way. I've been using it for a while. If you need a way to keep track of your money, I think it's a great option for you.
Okay. I'll go with mine next, and we'll went with Kwesi. So mine is Kingdom Rush Tire Fence. So it's a game that it came out a while ago. Words. And let me think when this came out. It came out, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. And it's fantastic. It's one of those tire fence games that I fell in love with. It's a unique concept, and I am playing for a long time. You can have your hero that helps you in your battles and your towers to make you think critically to complete it. And it's not one of those easy ones. It gets very complicated very quickly. So you have different ways that you can beat the levels, and with strategy and hope, you can try to do that. So this is a game that I love. This game, it's fantastic. So it's Tower Defense TD, and I think this game is on Apple Arcade for free if you have Apple Arcade. So it's really nice. That's my app of the week.
Okay. So if it could be, my app of the week would be Spider-Man. but unfortunately, that's just not going to work. But I do want to put it out there. Oh, so my app of the week this week is the PlayStation app, right? And I really love this app because, like, when I first got my PlayStation, I already had the app. You know, you just scan the QR code, you're signed in, right? Makes it really easy, just like Xbox, right? And then, you know, just like Xbox app, you can download your apps onto the console while you're away from home, right? I did that. But another thing I really like is in the app, it'll tell you how much time you've spent on a game, right?
It's a little scary.
I don't want to know that.
I've had my PS5 since last Friday. It is currently Tuesday, so that's, 4 days? Ladies and gentlemen, I've spent, hold on, let me make sure everybody can see this. I've spent 20 hours playing Spider-Man. That is like a fourth of that's a whole day! I've spent entirely too much time on this game. Last night, I was up till 2 a.m. I beat the game, right? And then I was up at 4 a.m. for this podcast. So,
Is that the first one?
yeah, the first
You're in the...
and,
Man, you got so much time left.
Unfortunately for me, I started Miles Morales last night, and then I played it for less than an hour, and I was like, ooh, this cutscene's getting kind of long. I should probably go to sleep. So...
Worked out in your favor. But they're great games. They are.
I think great is...
Just wait till you get Spider-Man 2, man. Just wait till you get to Spider-Man 2, man.
Can't wait. It's going to be so awesome.
Anyhow. I'm a big Spider-Man fanboy. And honestly,
me too.
PlayStation app's great too. So, nice choice.
Thank you. So, yeah, that's my app of the week this week.
Okay. Wow. One episode. Our longest one yet, but I don't care. I don't care. If people get upset with this being long, that's whatever. You can listen to it at your own leisure. What I'll say is like and subscribe for sure because we want to get some more views and some more just discussions with people. We want to thank Chase for taking time out of his morning, practically his whole entire morning, to be here with us today. And yeah, for sure. Thanks for everything that you guys do. Appreciate all the support for sure. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. And, you know, I just want to give special thanks to Chase again because, you know, you were a highly requested guest to come
Not
back.
just saying that.
So we had,
look at the comments.
Genuinely, I'll send you some comments that say it. But, you know, thank you so much for putting up with us for the last 2 hours.
I'm just glad that you guys will let me come on here and just argue with you.
It's so fun,
because
though.
that's
It's
what's
so
going
fun.
on, man. I have a great time. Let me be devil's advocate for an entire episode, and we're gonna have a great time.
All right. Well, guys, I completely forgot to tell you. Like my video right now. By the time you've seen this, I would have spent entirely too much time editing this video. And if you guys just don't care about me and you want me to, like, never feel so satisfied in life, go ahead and ignore me right now. Go ahead and don't subscribe. Go ahead and don't share the podcast with your friends. See if I care. I will. It'll hurt my feelings. I'll be back next week, though, for you guys to do it all again. Anyway, have a great week, guys.
Okay, we'll see you. See you next week. Have a fantastic week. And maybe